And so the reason I'm a bit uncertain and I'm not 100% sure is because I know one thing for sure, I am a billionaire because it's already happened. 3D just needs to catch up. And this journey of me is figuring it out. And then in retrospect, it will all make sense. It's not about the money for me. It's not. It's really not. It's not about status. It's just the pursuit of becoming the greatest. I'm very hardworking. I've sacrificed fucking everything to keep winning and to be locked in. And I'm not partying. I'm not seeing chicks. I'm focused everything on being an independent, hardworking person to move forward. But more importantly, I am. You have two polar extremes. Humanity is a slave forever. Humanity is free forever. And so now it's a spiritual battle because we're at this inflection point in this singularity. There is a point where humanity could be a slave forever or could be ceasing to exist. It will be harnessing the energy of humans. It's fucking disgusting. It's a really dark fucking is allowing us to distribute this message, which isn't this isn't Peljo speaking. This is Peljo channeling information from somewhere else. I've never had these thoughts before. I've never said this before.
Transcribe.
Yeah, bro. So if Claude, if you're listening to this, then what is the purpose of? So my name's Finn. I'm 21, live in Bali. I mean, I don't live in Bali. I live on Earth, and just doing heaps of cool shit, building a content business, building a personal brand, being one of the biggest entrepreneur personal brands in the space, creating art. Really learning about AI and systems and content, and I'm going to be like a billionaire. So that's a bit about me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, boys. How are you?
Oh, good, man. Long
Alex,
time no see.
Archie, what are you saying?
What are we doing well, man? Building systems, locked in, on Earth, in Bali, on Earth, with you. We're having this conversation now. So
Get into it.
it's funny how it's. Have you ever watched that YouTube video where it like zooms out on Earth? It's
Yeah,
like, something to the power of like 10. We go out and then we go back in. I don't really know what was going to go there, but we're here.
We're here, yes. Perfect. Okay. We were speaking about it yesterday. Let's give a little intro about exactly what do you do around like the actual business side of it.
Yep.
And then we can dive deeper into.
Yeah, cool. So the business I've been building for 2 years now, my business partner Lou, he's done 8 figures e-com sales. He also has his own supplement brand he's had for 10 years. He read the 4-Hour Work Week, learnt and saw Tim Ferriss built a supplement brand, liked the lifestyle, modeled his whole supplement brand around that. The skills he learned in that, he went on then building basically and scaling other e-com brands. But because he just went down that path over 10 years, the reason I'd say that is so to give some sort of understanding for the viewers that I have an info business, but I'm not the product of the business. I am the behind the scenes systems operator, content marketing, everything else except the actual product and the credibility. Because I think that's one distinction in info. It's like everyone's having to everyone's done 100K months, right? But they're not consistently doing 100K months. It's a big shady space. And so my content personal brand is really pivoting now a lot more into long form and actually showing behind the scenes of how I'm building this on info business. And I have nothing to sell anyone, so they can just see and I can just give everything away for free. And I remember seeing Thomas Gannett did this 2-3 years ago. Do you know Thomas Gannett?
No.
He had the SMA, high level affiliate.
Okay.
He was one of High Level's biggest affiliates, and what he did was he basically gave away all the info but had a better way of monetizing. That's also what Hormozy did. He gave away the info and had a better way of monetizing. And so what Thomas did was he basically was showing behind the scenes when SMA was a massive industry, massive make money online, everything was pumping. He was showing all the behind the scenes of how he was running his MedSpire agency. Everyone saw that, and then in doing that, they went and started their MedSpire agency, or they learnt how to do it. They learned how to use High Level. They saw he was cold calling on the desktop, on the software, which was unheard of, and it actually showed exactly how to do it. His way of monetizing was, look, I'll show you everything, and then you just go through my free program course, and then in using the software of High Level, he'll be able to benefit you because you're using the software. No one really knew it at the time, so it's a fair exchange. And then he, as in return, is getting a lifetime commission of the lifetime of the customer for 40%. And so I don't know, he's genuinely made millions of dollars in that, and he doesn't make videos on it anymore, and it's still paying him to this day. Right, he's doing multiple 5-figure months, and that's just cruising, doing nothing, literal passive income. And so in seeing that and then seeing a Hormozy, it's like, okay, info's crazy because if you see the curve that like of info, it's like you shoot up really quickly because cost of fulfillment's really low, but you get bottlenecked around that like 100K a month mark at a small level and 1 mil to 5 mil, as you were saying before, in the high level of an info business. And so the bigger it gets, the more complex, the more unscalable it is. And that's why I see a lot of info brands and like brands in terms of personal brands going in the software direction, or they're going into the private equity for Alex Hormozy, for example.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing that and I'm like, okay, cool, well, let's just give everything away for free and then figure it out along the way, because the business does what it does. We'll build maybe a software, we'll maybe build like an equity sort of thing. But I think it's really interesting with AI and everything, the way it's going, what is possible and how uncertain the future is. And so the reason I'm a bit uncertain and I'm not 100% sure is because I know one thing for sure, I am a billionaire because it's already happened. The 3D just needs to catch up. And this journey of me is figuring it out. And then in retrospect, it will all make sense. So that's a high level, short level of everything.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing it with Lou? 2 years?
2 years.
Okay. Let's reverse back there, because a lot of people that would class themselves as operators or growth operators, number one, in this kind of industry we're in info, would manage, or at least try and manage 3, 4 clients at the same time.
Yeah.
Why are you just with one client?
Well, it's my business, bro. It's not a client. A lot of growth operators will be like, oh, I'm a growth operator. That's my business model.
Yeah.
And it's not my business model. I have a business. It's like, it's an info business. And it's, that's the single focus, because I believe truly in single focus, eliminate everything and make the main thing the main thing. If it's not the main thing, then it's not the right thing. And so, does that answer the question?
Kind of, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I feel like you can go deeper into it though. I feel like there's some other kind of thing behind that. Like, what do you think is the difference between an operator who wants to go on and manage multiple people versus
so
stay with one?
I think
business?
I think
it's long term.
It's human behavior. What rewards a growth operator from doing that business model? Because I haven't thought about it too much, because I never really considered myself an info business owner or a growth operator, because I saw the industry and I didn't want to be associated with that. So my identity wasn't aligned with that. So I never really saw it. And I didn't go into it the traditional path. I had an info business, which was a Notion business, selling templates, e-commerce, everything e-commerce except for fulfillment. It was just sending PDFs, okay? Shopify, ads, everything, e-com brand. Klaviyo, literally everything was e-com, because I went through a drop shipping course to learn that. Now, in doing that, this will all tie together. In doing that, I went to, I was able to break out of the matrix at the age of 18. I was making 10K a month and like just consistently doing that and growing, and then moved to Bali. And then when I moved in, I met my business partner, Lou. And then I saw he had his brand, he had other brands, and he was also doing done for you, like basically growth partnering for e-com brands. Yeah. And so I saw that, and he was trying to position and transition into like having a more scalable model. And he obviously looked up to Sam Ovens at the time, and he wanted to like pursue that sort of info like route. But bro, this was back in I don't even know, like 2-3 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And so he and I didn't even know info was a business model back then. You know, it was just like, let's just figure it out along the way. So it kind of organically turned into this now, where instead of me going down a traditional path of learning from someone selling me the dream, selling me a specific course and selling me a specific way of thinking, we've had to like develop our own systems, our own path through actually doing it ourselves. So it has taken longer and it has been ups and downs, but it's a lot more unique, and it gives us that perspective to have a lot more context of a broader scope, because we didn't have to follow a specific blueprint or framework that someone had mapped out in the past with their info business. Now, to relay back to the question being, why not do info? I'm just trying to compact. Yeah, I'm trying to compact what we just spoke about. But basically, you look at what rewards you. And as a growth operator, you get rewarded because you're getting tied to a percentage of revenue you provide for the business. And so if you make 20K a month for a business, you're making 20% revenue, that's 20K a month, right? And you're like, well, sick, this is awesome. Like, now how I go from 20K a month to 40K a month is I just get another business, I just implement everything over to that. But the problem is your attention's spread thin. You're also in 2 different businesses, 2 different fucking problems. And then if you try and do that again, it's a third one. And then you need teams, you need people, and it's very inefficient, and it's not specifically the best vehicle to get to 7 figures, 8 figures in net worth in a short period of time, in my opinion. I'm sure there's ways you can do it, but then what ends up happening is it ends up going into done for you, and you turn into like an agency, basically. I don't want to name names, but there are agencies that work with some of the biggest info businesses right now, and they've kind of gone down that path, and they're just purely done for you on the back of info. So it's like, instead of a growth operator, it's a full-on business behind the business. And it all kind of starts to look a bit like that. And like, it's just not for me, because I'm going to be pursuing this journey of being a fucking billionaire, and this is not the path for me. And you could also be a shadow operator, like selling the dream of growth operating. And that's the more scalable model, because then you're selling an info business on how to scale info businesses, but then it just gets more pyramidy. And then you're actually selling to like the people in our demographic in terms of age and location. So Western English speaking, 18 to 30, and they're young, hungry, wanting to make money online, but they're working a job, or they're a tradie, or they're doing whatever, as in the traditional sense, they've come out of uni, or they're in uni, and their skill set is quite limited, and their mindset's very limited, because they have all of their L programs have been written through school and through all of the learnings of figuring out in their journey of life. And so if you're selling these people on this business model of being a growth operator, and in info, a lot of the times the success is dependent on the student, not actually on the quality of the information. So it just doesn't feel 100% correct if you're charging for that, when theoretically the cost of information should be free. Like, info would be a very amazing business model if humans weren't getting in the way of themselves. If we could just listen, implement, and apply what was told, instead of having to like overcome our limiting beliefs, overcome our problems of like, oh, I don't feel like working today, or I feel like shit, or I'm distracted on Instagram, I'm distracted on this, and I do this ecom thing on the side, and I'm going to do this sales thing on the side, and it's just all sporadic. It's not cut and paste like a system or a business to be followed. And as you guys know, like, you come from info, one of the biggest things that an info business runs on is sales, is the actual acquisition side. It's not actually the product side, because as an info business, you're mainly rewarded on acquisition, filling, because information, it loses its value as soon as it's consumed. So it's not actually compounding. So it's this weird thing where you're constantly being reinforced to fill the business by new potential customers. So yeah, that's a long-winded question to answer that question.
Do you think it's actually ethical selling growth operating?
What does ethical mean? Define ethical.
Well, in the sense of, like, do you think that, what I mean by that really is that, do you think someone could just go and become a growth operator, is what I'm saying, from not really having much business experience?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like there's a step that you have to take doing something else before that, whether it's sales, whether it's like what you did running an e-com company? Do you feel like you need some kind of like general baseline to then compound upon that, and then eventually it just sort of transfers? Because every CEO really is an operator.
I don't think there's any prerequisites. It comes down to the person. Like, you see fat people doing really well in business, and you see not fat people doing really well in business. And you can make the tie that the fat person isn't dialed, they haven't got good habits, they're not looking after their health, but then they're sacrificing all elements of their life for the business. So everything else, if you look at like bars of like energy bars, basically, of like levels of like characteristics of the person, like they might be maxing out one thing and they'll be limited in other things. And so it's, everyone can do it, anyone can do it, but in all seriousness, it's like at the end of the day, it just comes down to the person and who they are. And one of the biggest like unlocks is just being surrounded by other people doing what you're doing, and then learning from people ahead of you. And in the weird way, we live in a world where that is how you get into the industry, by buying an info product, or buying a community, or buying into the industry to then be surrounded by those people. And because the only value you can bring to the industry is your money as a customer, as a consumer, not actually as a valuable person. Because I was able to partner with my business partner because I had already had existing skills that I developed myself, because I was action taking, I was learning, I was self-improving on this path, instead of having to buy a course and go through this like cut and paste copy way, and then you're basically being taught convergent or divergent? Convergent thinking, where you're like formed and you're bringing your thoughts down to one specific outcome. It's like you're basically a virtual assistant at this point. You just follow the SOP, and that's like at the end of the day what it is. So,
Very interesting. Okay, we'll come back into the business, but I just want to hear. You said you're going to be a billionaire, and it's already happened. Now, how do you see the info logic or the operating logic coming over to becoming a billionaire? Because you said there's a limit for maybe info operating businesses doing about 1 to 5 mil a month. Now, how do you cross that over and turn it into compound and get into $1 billion net worth for yourself?
So what's the question?
What's your path? What's your path to become a billionaire?
I'm just going to mathematically draw it out. Build an 8-figure company, and then build a 9-figure company, and then build a 10-figure company. But the thing is like, I don't have it fully mapped out because I'm learning, and I'm going through my path, my journey. And that sounds super like spiritual, like who is this guy? Like, but no, but seriously, like my fundamentals, my code, my math is lined up. Okay, I'm very hardworking. I've sacrificed fucking everything to keep winning and to be locked in. And I'm not partying. I'm not seeing chicks. I'm focused everything on being an independent, hardworking person to move forward. But more importantly, I am fundamentally, sounds super narcissistic, but I'm fundamentally trying to remain as close to the truth as possible. I'm trying to stay as intact with reality as possible. And this billionaire journey is to answer, okay, my understanding of the universe, my understanding of reality, and then through that, I'll have enough context and enough understanding of reality to have the right actions to help people in the right amount, in the right way. Because the billionaire part, it's energy to be able to have enough impact on reality to help people at scale. Because we could all be helping people. I could jump on a call with you and it's like a one-on-one consulting session. Or I could, let's say you have issue, like we had, like this is how we met, how you had issue with some short form content, or some video editing content. Because I have my content, I have my personal brand, I have my editing systems in place for my team, my business. And I just wanted to help you out, right? Now, there was money in exchange for that. But if I don't need the money and you needed the assistance, then if I have infinite amounts of resource, then I can just help you just like that. I don't care. It's not about the money for me. It's not. It's really not. It's not about status. It's just the pursuit of becoming the greatest and becoming the best and being an athlete in life. Because business is one of the only endeavors that you can pick up and you can do it till the end of till the day you die. You can lose all of your hands, all of your feet, everything, but if you still have a mind and a brain and you still have a mode of being able to communicate your thoughts, you can still run a business. So fundamentally, until I die, like that, until I stop breathing and I'm no longer conscious, I will probably be running a business. So it's an infinite pursuit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the billionaire is just that one milestone, which you can aim for, and
it's a North Star.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a North Star. But the $1 billion, and this is why it gets really caught up. The $1 billion isn't the end goal. It's not to be fucking Scrooge McDuck diving into heaps of gold. It's not to have crazy watches like you guys. But it's to just fucking continue learning and improving, and more importantly, live an amazing life and enjoy life and live a life where I'm a net output of positivity in this world.
Yeah.
Because everyone around me that's in my network and in my circle can attest to the fact that I am who I say I am, and I am honest, and I'll always do my best by someone. And I can test this. If you go to any of my content, you watch enough of my content, you can understand this. Because I try and be as authentic and as much as myself in my content, and just through a gauge of that, you'll get enough of a read of who I am as a person. Does that make sense? So, and this comes back to building a personal brand. This comes back to branding. It's associating myself and making the right pairings and being super cognizant of the pairings that I'm not making myself with. So I can keep my brand at a high potential and high quality and perception. Perception sounds a bit like wrong, but like a high
Authenticity.
High authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So would you say the goal for yourself is to provide more value to people, as much value as possible, or is it the process of becoming the billionaire? It's the journey or the learning journey.
It's both.
And it's the both. It's the self-improvement. It's all we Archie and I were having this discussion. Business sort of is like the final form of self-improvement. You can go to the gym, you can do all of that, but really business is just everything culminated into one. And it's operating yourself, operating other people, building something, making like sort of the impossible physical or possible. So
It's turning thought into reality, brother.
there it is.
Yeah, bro.
So what the goal to get there is just to give as much energy as you can in the form of value, which what is value? It's energy, right?
Yeah.
So
To be real, bro, like, I'm asked the question for you, like, what is the purpose of life?
You want to go to 42?
That's the meaning of life. What is the purpose of life?
What's the purpose of life? Or my purpose of life? Your purpose?
Your purpose.
To help expand human consciousness. That's my purpose of life. And I'm a very similar path. Train of thought to you is like, with wealth, will allow more opportunities, which will allow us to explore, get out of this planet, explore space, travel, understand the universe a bit better. And what else is there really to do other than that? Push humanity or push consciousness forward. So what do you say?
Yeah. Be a net positive. That's it. You know, like if you're a net positive, you'll expand consciousness and you'll make consciousness interplanetary. We could just keep fucking fucking Elon Musk quotes, but like
Be useful. That's one of his
be
biggest quotes.
fucking useful, you know. But like but the thing is like that is the humans. There's like what humans are kind of supposed to be doing. It's like that's the code. It's like to stay alive and expand and just follow that like natural obligation to keep progressing and keep moving through life and enjoying the journey. And I think one thing is two things. Number one is consistently comparing yourself to others and feeling like you're behind, but realizing you're actually on your own path, and it all makes sense in retrospect. And then second of that is being able to continue down this path and be able to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and understand you're on your own path and you're going to enjoy your path because it's your path and no one else is going to live it. And actually be present, actually be here, like right here, right now, right? 76, 77. Now, that's a huge pattern interrupt to bring you to the presence. Now we're present, now we're here, we're in reality, we're in the simulation. We're experiencing the simulation for what it is, okay? And so many people are so caught up in the future or in the past, they're never here in the present now. And they're not able to enjoy it. Like, think about it right now. The viewers who are watching this don't understand this, but clean air, there's an air conditioner in the background, there's a light up there, the table's hard, we've got waters, you know, it's not too cold, it's not too hot, but now we're putting attention and senses to the things. And if you're watching this, it's like, what device are you watching this on? Are you on a laptop? Are you on a podcast? Are you in your ears? Are you on a phone? Are you actually present? Where are you right now? What are you doing? Where are you in the world? Right now, here, we're in Bali, okay? And being able to experience this timeline that we're living, because there's infinite possibilities, but we're choosing to specifically go down this one timeline. That's pretty special. And so many people are like asleep, and they're not actually like present and awake and enjoying life. And that's where it comes back to being present and enjoying the process, enjoying what you're doing. And you'll have like an upward spiral if you're being useful and being a helpful, kind human being and being truthful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What were we saying earlier about energy transfer? About how everything has an opposite and equal reaction? And what were you saying about providing value, being useful? You're being useful in one direction. What's going to come back in the other direction? Positive energy, positive vibrations. And then that's going to help yourself feel better, but that's coming from you giving out good energy. So
100%, man.
100%. Actually, one thing you were saying, while you're saying, be present in the moment, like listening to every single one of your words, and like hearing it in your head, when you take that big pause, or any pause between your letters or between your words, you have that moment of just pure silence in your head. Do you notice that?
Do I?
Like no. Like, for example, if you're listening to me right now,
Yeah.
you felt that just pure, nothing else in your mind. The silence between the words. that's like a very magical feeling, which we don't get normally that much. Like you're on a laptop, you're thinking about, need to reply to this guy, do this. Like actually being present in the conversation, you can hear the gaps, you can clear your mind, you can actually, I think that's super, super valuable. So.
And we're only 20 minutes in, boys.
Yeah, no, super interesting. Okay, let's move on a little bit more to the technical side of stuff. So we were speaking yesterday about AI, we were speaking about the direction. We see the industry heading with info. What sort of was your opinion of the info industry, operating, and AI? Let's talk about all three of those things. What's the direction you see everything
One sec. Answer me the question again. Just for those listening, just for you listening, we haven't seen each other for 6 or 7 weeks, right? And just by pure coincidence, we were at the same restaurant at the same time yesterday, and we just happened to have a conversation. And we kind of already were having the podcast, and we realized we had to stop talking because we were getting too much into the podcast. So when he says we're talking yesterday, it's not like we're talking and we're just like doing this and that. It's like we were just, there is like, we've already kind of like, we're coming into this is like the phase 2 to like be the next ascendance of the conversation. So just so they're aware.
Deep,
And that first topic was exactly how we ended yesterday as well, pretty much speaking about energy, and now we filtered directly back into that right now at the start of this podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be the deeper dive. That sounds like the Notebook LM, deep dive. You know what I'm talking about. This is going to be the deeper part from yesterday's conversation.
Here we go. Let's go.
So kicking off, we were speaking about info in the beginning, speaking about operating and how you want to operate just for one product, one offer, just because you have the ability to scale it and dedicate all your energy towards it. And then we were speaking about AI. This was yesterday, but let's bring it into the conversation.
Okay.
What do you see all three of these parts leading on to in the future?
I'll bring it to myself first. In order to become a billionaire, you need to have a lot of leverage. And Naval has his 4 pillars of leverage. Alex Hormozi has broken it down to the 4 C's, so it's easy for me to remember. So I'm fucking speed quoting and analogizing my context window from there. So code, computers, capital, cash, content, video, audio, whatever medium it is, in collaboration. Us 3 communicating. And then there'll be someone that edits this, distributes it. So those are the 4 key pillars of leverage. And so if you look at everything that I'm working on right now, it is each individual element all accumulated together into building those leverage, and me being a autonomous individual, being able to take those different levers and being able to apply them in certain ways so I can get outsized return for my input. Now, the question being, what am I doing? Okay, so let's just high level context and then we'll go deeper if we need to. So my content is art. It's my personal brand. It keeps me fucking sane. It's just, honestly, it's a side project that turned into a main project. And then that is building my brand awareness, my people knowing about me, which has 2 things. 1, being a net output positive, which is putting energy out into the universe. 2, in return, right now, all I need to do is hire people. So the collaboration part is solved because I can get A-player talent, A-player people working for me and my company, working with me for my company into building whatever I build. And the thing is, maybe the company I'm building today is going to be an 8-figure company. But in working with me, over a long period of time, we're building a fucking 10-figure, 11-figure company. Okay, so it's a long-term game with long-term people, so like situation. So that's the first one, that's the collaboration. Content. I've just answered that. It's actual distribution. It's learning through my content, through my personal brand, the ability to be able to put out content at scale and reach millions of people. In the past, since January 1st this year, my Instagram, I'm not some special guy. Like I'm literally just some dude, just figuring this out and having some fun. But my Instagram was able to reach 20 million people. Okay? One person was able to reach 20 million people. Forget about metrics, forget about egos here. One person was able to reach 20 million people. And the attention of 20 million people. Never before in history has that been possible. And that's what you get through content. And all of the content, this is the crazy part, all of the content created and distributed was through my team and through one level of input on me. Because the content was filmed beforehand and is being reused. It's not like I'm recording a new video every single time. So it's being able to like take all these leverage and learn how to apply them in these different areas, and then taking that from one domain and taking it to another domain. It's by taking the art and bringing it to the science. It's finding the balance of both, and you can only do this if you're you're able to think for yourself, because through thinking for yourself, you're able to break out and have those thoughts which are able to allow you to learn and improve and look what's in front of you and think of it from a different perspective. 2. 3. Capital. Very simple. I actually don't know much about capital preservation and accumulation. All I know is my business has been making money because we just keep putting money back into the business. And it's just an input-output machine. My editor's collaboration is managed through capital. It's like I'll give you money in exchange, you give me some effort in terms of output of work. And so capital I'm not too much of a thing on, because it's more about energy, like if we want to really take it there, because where we're at right now, the future of the financial system might collapse, and so capital might be Bitcoin or it might be whatever, but money is basically a way to measure energy, which is right now humans' labor. Okay, so it's not too much of a concern, and also it's a weird one with capital where like if you have enough capital, it kind of allows people to come in and manage the capital, and kind of the capital builds itself. It's like this weird like compounder, like you're building your AI company, I give you like fucking how much ever you need, and then in return you build the company, and then I have a small equity part in that, and that bit just grows. I'm not overthinking it too much, but it's a thing you need to understand to play the game, because without cash, without capital, you can't move through time, you can't move through business. So that's the capital side. And then finally, code. This is the one that I've been really struggling with until now. So with code, it's you write the code, you invest all the time in the code, and then you have this asset which can run on a million computers or one computer and do whatever it needs to be done. And we utilize it through software. You have Stripe, you have your CRM, you have your website, you have all of this. You have social media, which is built up on code. You have your operating system, which is your computer. And I never really worried about it too much, because I thought, well, code is kind of interesting, where it's like the previous generation made it good, so then I can build on top of that. So the code, if you look at it, I don't know anything about computing, but like you invented the computer, and then you invented the first operating system of the computer, and then you improve the operating system of the computer, and then you build the apps and like Excel and Microsoft Word and all this shit for computer. And then you have the next level, which is Web 2.0 for the computer. And then it just keeps building up and building up until you have like no code builders, and you can drag and drop with Canva and all this shit. And then now it's to the point where you have access to building your own stuff with code through means of AI, which is blowing my mind. And so that's going to be a developing factor into the future, which I'm going to continue to learn. And that's right now where I'm really getting like sucked into it in terms of application, because I'm realizing with code in recent history, that's probably been where the real the wealth has been made. If you look in recent history, because the supply for talented coders and the demand for what they can produce was like super disproportionate, which is why you have Airbnb, Stripe, these companies which build this code base, this code, and then they get users for the code, and it's just this massive outsized return. But now it has, as quickly as it's come in, it's also shifting as quickly, because now you got this technology which is just disrupting it. And I think it's a really interesting to think about before we go any further. Is like, in moving forward and looking at history, in looking at the future, you can remember what's going to happen in the future. And that's, if you're really thinking and listening to me right now, you're going to think, what the fuck does that even mean? But if you look at history, it's a relatively good indicator of what's going to happen in the future. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the industries that have been around forever, there's a high likelihood they're going to be around forever. Now, there is going to be nuances to it, but if you look at the industries that came really quickly, they can also go really quickly. It's just like, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a mental model to think about how to look forward. And so if you look at code and you look at softwares now, you guys know this more than anyone, and I might be chatting shit, call me out, but as quickly as a software company become $1 billion company, now there is a potential where a software company could become a worthless company, because it's not the code, it's not the software that's the valuable part.
Gotta go to the toilet.
It's like nicotine, brother.
Is it, man? Too much.
It was 4 milligrams.
Is that a lot?
No.
No?
No. It's all good. Well,
You take Zins as well?
No. No.
Let's wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking 100%. But you know also, why is Facebook ads so valuable? Because it's leveraging those 5 things: code, content, network, capital, and then labor maybe. But it's got code, which is the Facebook thing. It's got capital, which is the money you invest into it. Network, it's got the biggest network in the world, Instagram, Facebook. And what was the other one? Code, capital, content. Oh, content. And content's content.
Yeah,
That's why it's so valuable, because it's leveraging all 4.
Yeah.
And then labor is also the distribution aspect of it. That's like, if you can find stuff which picks all 5 things of those, it's not going to just be obsolete because of code, like exactly what you were saying. It's just, if you take the code, okay, I understand if it's companies solely based on code and that's their only USP, 100%. But if they've got those other levers, like for example, Salesforce right now is, people are saying what's really the future of Salesforce, because it's just a CRM. You can get Claude to vibe code you a CRM in 3 seconds. You never need to use Salesforce. So that's why it's a little bit in the dumps. But there's no way you're going to vibe code Facebook ads, because it's got all 5 of those.
Yeah, but then if you look at it, if you look under that framework, let's just continue. If you look under that framework, Salesforce has other elements of it. The reason why Salesforce is going to be valuable is because they own the data, they own the collaboration, they own the network, the people using it. They have the customers, they have the data, and so that's why they're a valuable company. And they if they play their cards right, they can continue to be a valuable company into the future. But I think what you could see is, like, you get a big fat cat that stays fat and they don't adapt, and they have this one thing that they're really good at, and then as time progresses, the market shifts, and then people can just exit the Salesforce. But it's very interesting, and if you bring it back to, like, looking at myself or you, because there's a high likelihood that you're also going to be a fucking billionaire as well. Like, if we look at what you're doing right now at the age of 25 and what you're building and what you've done and who you are and how you operate, there is a very high likelihood that, like, we will go our own paths, our own ways, and we will both in the very future.
We'll both see each other at the top.
Yeah. No, we're gonna.
Or at the wall.
No, we're not gonna see each other at the wall. I'm not going into any political stuff on this, but we are in contact now, and we are going to continue this path. And this could be over the next 50 years, whatever it is, and we will have, it would on the outside be like, that's crazy. It's such a unique scenario that you guys knew each other and you're both fucking billionaires. But in actual fact, it's like we met each other. It was a universe, like, bringing us together. It was a divine fucking timing thing, and we're walking a similar path, and it's the collaboration along the way. Like, if you look at PayPal, Mafia, they've collaborated. There's no coincidence that everyone that built PayPal in the beginning, they're all fucking billionaires, because they knew each other and they were the IRL network. And so to bring it back to that is, like, you're very heavy on the code, and you're very heavy on the capital, and you're very heavy on the collaboration, but the content might be the thing that you're missing, and that's where Archie will come in.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the thing where it's like, well, I'm bringing it back to, like, being a billionaire and progressing forward. Forget about the product, because you only need to strike it once. You only need to get rich once. You only need to, like, as Jeff Bezos would say, you take a swing, you can hit a home run, and it's in baseball, it's four points. In business, take a swing, hit a home run, it's to infinity. It's billions and trillions of points, however the points are just devised, right? Of how valuable they are. So it's you that is getting built as the skill. You're learning these skills. You're learning how to leverage, and you're walking this path. And then when the right time comes, you just need to be lucky once, and then bang, you're a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I completely agree. There's actually no limit to, like, what's really possible. Like, for example, Elon says this perfectly. He sold Zip2, invested all into PayPal, invested then all into Tesla, and then SpaceX, and now he's investing every other, like, 2 months. He's creating a brand new company. That just shows there's absolutely no limit once you have these 5 systems dialed in, and, like, he's got everything of those 5 systems, like, to a T. There's no limit at all. Not even the sky's the limit. Not even Mars. Nothing. So
maybe not even this fucking 3-dimensional reality is the limit. Now, here's the thing. The human body is the most powerful and amazing devices, tools, things in the world. And it all comes back to you. It's your programming, it's yourself. and it comes back. If you like really bring it down, it's back to your identity, and it's like you are your own biggest enemy. You are your own biggest threat, and you are your own biggest limitation. And so, how you approach and look after yourself, and how you are able to continue into the future, that is what's going to be a very big indicator on winning and reaching the sky, reaching infinite, like the breakout point, or staying the same, or going a linear path where you're going to maybe make 10 million, 100 million, but you're going to be you're cruising. You're just on a slower path, and it's just because of yourself. Like I think genuinely, like if you really strip it down, people have had it worse than you are right now, and we're in such a good position that we're in right now in terms of just on the fundamental mathematics of it. Like we have access to computers, we are independent, we are building things which are promising technologies in the future, and we're learning the skills, and like we have everything. If we're not billionaires, it was on us.
Oh, 100%.
Basically. So yeah.
I think about, Archie and I were saying this the other day, think about the position we're in right now, like super fortunate. We are in the right time in the AI era. AI there's no better. This is like the next .com. This is bigger than it, probably. We're in Bali, surrounded by killer entrepreneurs. Good weather. Like in London, you don't see that. What else? Like you've got network, you've got capital, you've got everything you can possibly do to succeed right here, right now. Like for example, meeting you the first time I came to Canggu. So yeah, by the way, for the camera. First time I came to Canggu, went to open house, someone just said, oh, there's a good place, open house. First person I sit next to, exactly. It's a divine intervention right now. So what were we saying? Right now, the time we are in our lives as well, being young, willing to smash it, full of testosterone, everything, like this is...
Full of nicotine.
a bit too much. But we're literally in the prime place to smash it. If we cannot smash it right now, I don't think there'll ever be an opportunity in the future.
Yeah, there's a very high likelihood it might not be an opportunity. I just want to do you want to take this anywhere?
I was going to take it down into the direction of, do you see there being a window, the window closing, to make ridiculous amounts of money, or the ability to build something great?
Can we pause that?
Yeah.
I really want to touch on the Bali bit. Alex said we're in Bali. We're surrounded by a bunch of people, and I just want to put it super clear. If anyone in Bali is listening to this, or if anyone is wanting to go to Bali, if anyone's been in Bali and they've got a negative connotation of Bali, that's on you. The way you perceive Bali, and let me just touch on this, because the question was, is the window going to close? Okay, I'm going to tie this back to freedom. Bali is a very interesting place, and it is full of fucking brokies. It's full of people that are literally scraping by. And dude, I came here with less than $2,000 to my name when I was fucking 17 or 18 years old. And I happened to make it work. And the way I look at it is it's a launch pad. But it's like anything in life, you get what you put in and you get what you want. And if you have the intention to lock in, you can get everything done for you. You can have the best gyms in the world. You can have the best lifestyle in terms of sun. You don't feel like you want to end yourself because you're enjoying what you do. And in being valuable, you will develop a network. In being valuable, you will meet valuable people. There are valuable people here, but you don't meet them at the networking events. You don't meet them at the gym. You meet them by pure coincidence or by network or how we met. There are people here worth 9 figures, 10 figures, 8 figures, 7 figures, but you'll never know it because they're wearing a fucking t-shirt and they're riding a scooter. And that's real fucking they're obviously there's some people wearing Pateks and Rolexes, and they got big following on Instagram, or they look rich on the outside. Maybe they are rich and they are successful, but that's not to take away that there are also people that are not wearing or on the front looking like a successful, high value person. They are here, but everywhere in the world, you have the positives and you have the negatives, and it's so easy to focus on the negatives to make yourself feel correct. So I just want to touch on that and bring it back to freedom. The people that live here, and not live here, but frequent here, they've made that personal choice because when it gets to the point where you're free and you've broken out and you're independent, you're able to have intention and live a life that you want to live. And when you get to the point where you're focused on a mission, you're working hard, and you want to live life, and you get to the point where you don't want to kill yourself in the process, you want to enjoy the process, then Bali becomes a very entertaining and a very good, worthwhile place to either live or be in for a few months. And it's a place where you're able to really express the freedom of being able to choose where you want to live. And this comes back to where you want to be, and is it going to close? Yes, it will close, but I think more importantly, unfortunately, it will close when humanity ends. For as long as humans will be around, and there'll be humans in control, and humans will have their own freedoms, and they can choose where they want to live, and they're able to live in Bali, or they're able to live in Dubai, or in Australia, or in Bulgaria, or in London, there will always be an opportunity to break out until the point of which humanity closes in on itself, we nuke each other, everyone dies, or AI takes over, it kills us all because it needs to fulfill its own learning processes to explore and expand and get infinite energy and infinite tokens of compute to be able to continue, and for Archie to walk in front of the camera, and that is when the gap will close, when human freedom will end. Because it is a pessimistic view to think that the gap will close. And you might be right. But I'd rather be an optimist than be a pessimist and always be right. Because at least with an optimist, you will win. And so, I would like to think that the gap will never close, but the rules of the game will change. And that's where I want to bring it back to answer that question.
That was a perfect loop, all the way from Bali back to the window closing. Actually, I completely agree with you. Since we came to Bali, they have this saying, Bali chooses you. If you're meant for Bali, Bali chooses you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're giving negative energy, Bali throws you out.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the beginning. It's energy transfer.
Mm-hmm.
You give good energy to Bali,
Mm-hmm.
you get good energy back.
Mm-hmm.
You just embrace all the opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get everything from it. If I didn't decide to speak to you on the open house the first time,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't be having this conversation. There's so many other people
Mm-hmm.
who same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you take these opportunities, you
Yeah.
just throw yourself into it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can not take the opportunities and get Bali belly, lose your passport, lose your headphones,
Bike accident.
yeah, whatever, crash your bike, whatever.
Eat
And then-
nicotine gum while doing a podcast and then get sick.
Yeah, but you're back here, so that's the main thing.
No, that's the thing. No, that's a perfect analogy though. Bali tests you. It tests everyone. You get Bali belly. You'll get sick. Your business might actually lose money. You might be broke. Whatever. But like, it's gonna test you and see. Like, it's like everything in life. It tests you if you're worth it. And this is like, I don't want to get too like spiritual, but like, Bali runs on like energy lines on Earth. It's a very unique place, and a very like big energy line of the Leyland lines. It's like, I'm not saying it's true, but it's a good story. Bali is a big intersection where those two energy lines meet, and that's why we have Bali in the way it is. It's a very weird case scenario where if you have this country like Indonesia, there's this one part of it that is completely different religion, completely different way of life, completely different in terms of the contrast of how it is to the rest of Indonesia, and why a bunch of people have chosen to come here, and why, I don't know who's listening, I don't know what you know, but like in conversation, in our like network and the broader network of people I speak to, the conversation is like Bali, Dubai. And then you have other places which are the major capital cities in the Western world. Maybe you have Cape Town, maybe you have like Spain, Marbella, all those places, but it's barely Bali and Dubai. And it's like, those are the main like lifestyle decisions that people will make. And then everything else, like, there'll be few and far between. And I think it's interesting to see that the yap can take us here. That was a fucking. The yap caught up, brother.
You're saying Bali, Dubai, these are areas of high energy. Like, why do entrepreneurs all come here to Bali? Why do they all go to Dubai?
And also
why in
to
December
that,
do they go to Cape Town?
and also to that, the Bali, like, fuck, this is like just us circle joking Bali, but like, Bali is like, I've seen so many heavy hitters here.
Mm-hmm.
So many heavy hitters, and I don't want to name names, but like, I've seen people that you would 100% look up to. They all at least come here. They at least come through here. It's like an energy line. These high energy people come through this as whether they stay here, they live here, they're here now. But I will say this, Bali serves as a good base. Like, if you want somewhere to stay, if you want like to have somewhere as like a base where you have all your shit, you don't want to be trapped in a house with all your stuff in an apartment or in a house in the Western world. It's a nice place to have a base here.
No, if you want to just see what happens, if you've got nothing really going on in life, or if you want to just take something to the next level, shift something up, there's no better place than Bali, I'd say. Like, we were in sort of a little bit of a stagnant, not in a stagnant thing, but we were just wondering, okay, which direction we take it in. Second we land here, we're thinking we need to market stuff. We go to the gym. The guy that we were modeling our marketing plan off was sitting right next to us in the gym. Out of everywhere in the entire world, we see this guy. Now there's tons of these coincidences. Running into some guy who introduced us to Tony Robbins or was in the Tony Robbins Platinum Network. Then we had to do our visa run. We met him in Thailand. Now he's here in Bali with us, running this 9-figure event on the weekend. This stuff is just, you would never imagine it if you were in the UK. Like, even seeing other people's content. Oh, these guys are a million miles away. These guys are doing crazy stuff. You come to Bali, you're in the center of all of that stuff. It's, okay, that's enough about
100% agree.
pleasing Bali. Bali, thank you so much. So, we're talking about now
I need a haircut, bro. That's the one thing about Bali, bro. You can get a haircut. You can get a barber man ting to your door for 20 Australian dollars, brother. You can't do that anywhere else in the world, and I haven't taken advantage of that. But yeah, had an interrupt.
I didn't know we could do that. Yeah.
I got a guy. Yeah. That's another thing. Bali's like a weird place where it has every service. But like, it has like cleaning, they're actually nice people. Fuck, we're just circle checking Bali. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay, let's move on to what we were talking about before that, around this window closing, around UBI, UHI. What do we see the future actually looking like for most people? Do we see it becoming those who really have the knowledge, who understand about business, AI, ops, all of that, becoming the top echelons and start running their own businesses, and then everyone else who's in that 9-to-5 working class, like, for example, people, data entry people, or whatever, the average person, like, I don't know, admin or marketing, like editor or I don't know, something like the average stuff, which is not building and innovating on the forefronts of reality. Do you see there being a big divide? What do you see the actual future of work looking like? Business, money making.
Good question. Let's play it out. Okay, where are we at now? Let's not answer questions. Let's ask questions.
Okay.
So where are we at now?
We're at Opus 4.6, one of the very best model, which is extremely capable of calling other agents, calling other tools, and then actually taking real work or on-screen actions, like actually manipulating your softwares, moving your mouse around, doing all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and what is that capable of?
That's capable of doing about 70% of what a human can do on a screen.
And then, what does that mean? Like, how do I use that? Like what? You give me a number. 70% of what a human can do on the screen. No, like what does that mean? Like, dumb it down for people like me, brother.
Okay, for someone whose whole sole purpose, like you hire a VA from the Philippines or something, and all they have to do is move their mouse around on a screen and click certain buttons, drag files, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that can be digitally done on a screen can be, right now, 70% done via the AI models, which are out there right now.
And why do I want to do that? Why do I care?
Well,
why don't I just get a VA to do it?
Okay. Well, first of all, VAs will be much more expensive than, because all we're competing with the AI models is just literally the raw power of compute plus a little markup for the API. It's like first principles. You're getting closer to the core first principle
of energy.
Of energy, yeah, exactly. Like you're breaking it down. You don't have to go through a human having to have food and then digest that into like moving their hand to move a mouse to move the computer. Whatever.
And then they're like errors being occurred, and then
not knowing what to do.
Being humans where they have to be trained and they can't like
language mix-ups.
Exactly. So we're at that now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we could keep going. We could keep talking about this and keep going down that path to learn where we're at now. And like, where were we? If we go back to my fin.md, which I've mentioned before, which is we look at history, we look at how far we've come, where we went from here to now. I actually looked up just before I came that when ChatGPT was, I don't know if it was 3.5 or fucking 6.7, who knows, right? But basically, when ChatGPT came out, Chat NPC came out, it was 4,000 tokens of context, and now we're at like 200,000.
And now Claude is 1 million.
And now it's 1 million.
Yeah.
And that was in the space of 2 or 3 years, you know? And then we look at the capabilities. When it came out, you couldn't connect it to anything. You could only communicate through a chat interface. And like you could be halfway through doing research and you just stop and you're just like, oh, well, then what do I do now? And you didn't even know like an MD file. You couldn't plug it into your VS Code or anti-gravity or cursor or whatever you use. And so it's how far we've come in the space of 2 years. Now, the thing is, AI is like a weird thing where it's like self-improving. It's like us. We are A players. We are self-improving. So it's kind of, the system is improving itself. It's being used against to make itself sharper. And so we went from there to now. The gap of exponential growth, where are we going to be at in 2 years?
Yeah.
What's possible?
Let me make an interesting point here. So what I was saying about earlier, an AI now can do about 70%, 60-70% of what people... Lizard. Can do about, 70%
Takes one to know one.
of what someone can do on the screen. Who built AI, or who trained the models, or who came up with the algorithms of, it was data scientists or AI researchers, right? But all of that was done via code and just typing into a computer. Now AI can do a lot of what a human can do on a computer. It can now start being the data scientist which trains itself, right? Now we don't have to hire, or OpenAI doesn't have to hire 1,000 data scientists to make the new model. They have to spin up 1,000 agents, but they don't even need to spin up 1,000 agents. They can spin up 1 million agents. And all of those agents are as capable as a human is. Now, there's no need for data scientists to train the models, AI scientists to tweak the parameters and stuff. AI can do that by itself now. Now, doesn't that show we're not even on this limited by human capability anymore? We're on that complete exponential where humans don't have to rest. I mean, we don't need to rely on humans, which are the bottleneck. And we are now on that complete exponential curve. Like, you're familiar with singularity. Like the time.
Explain it.
Okay, so the way innovation has been happening over the last forever, the human history, it's been slowly getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. But now recently in the last, I don't know, 20, 60 years since the internet came around, it's been getting a lot steeper, the gradient, right? And eventually, and I think this is probably one of the inflection points we are right now, where it's going to start getting so much better, so quickly, the graph of intelligence is going to almost tend towards a straight line. So if you look at it like an exponential curve, it's going towards a straight line. Now, as if you know from maths, if it's a curved graph or an exponential graph, it'll never hit a perfectly straight line, but it'll almost seem perfectly straight, and it'll never hit that. But it'll be 99.9999% there. Now, if we're just following maths and logic the way intelligence is growing, we are reaching that, or we are going to reach that straight line. And then that's what people are calling singularity. People have predicted it to be 2045 or whenever. And that will be a period where all innovation will just happen instantaneously, where anything you can imagine, the cure for cancer, the cure for anything, will just all happen at once. Everything we can possibly imagine will just be invented, discovered, whatever. And then what happens after that? What happens to humanity? What happens to anything, really? Anything you want. This is what Elon's talking about, universal high income. Or, in fact, he even said an interesting point. We'll have so much innovation, humans won't know what to do. It'll be like anything. Like the bottleneck will be ourselves. We probably won't even be humans. It'll probably be like AI mixed with humans and stuff. But like...
That's what I said before when you asked the question, and if you want to go somewhere?
No, go for it.
That's what I said before when you asked the question, like, where do you see it? Where's the gap for freedom? It doesn't matter if it's freedom, because when we get to that singularity, and I think the thing you're trying to attend to is the singularity is the point where it's like you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. It's like it could be good, it could be bad, but it's one or the other. And so like if this is the gap to break through, when that singularity happens, when we're on the side, when we are on the other side of that, maybe humanity ceases to exist and it doesn't matter.
maybe we could become truly free.
And that's the point. So it's, to what degree is that true? Because we have two extremes. And so it comes down to, when we get to that point as humans, and I'm asking this to you guys, and I'm asking this to anyone that's listening or watching, or when their neural network is plugged in, they're just running through their fucking context file.
Plugged into
Or they've
Claude
just
and they've
transcribed
transcribed
Yeah,
it.
bro. So if Claude, if you're listening this, then what is the purpose of living? What is the purpose of a human if they're no longer needed? And maybe this is where it comes back to humanity and humans are the most powerful, most complex, intelligent vessels in this world. We just don't have the measurement tools to understand it yet. And this could be where the consciousness hits that next level. This is where humanity as a whole could go from the third dimension to the fucking fourth dimension. And this is where we could go. This is where it comes to. It is now a spiritual battle. It is not, are we going to be alive or are we going to be dead? You have the World Economic Forum saying it's the universal basic income, and you have Elon Musk saying it's the universal high income. You have two polar extremes. Humanity is a slave forever, or humanity is free forever. And so now it's a spiritual battle, because we're at this inflection point in this singularity. There is a point where humanity could be a slave forever, or could be ceasing to exist, or we could be breaking through and seeing the shift of the way that we understand and live as a civilization completely changes forever, and we are completely free. And that's where it comes down to a spiritual level, because you have these energies, these beings, which are these negative, wanting to enslave, get into this like new world which is manifested through humanity, which is like all the bad things. And then you have the positive things, which is freedom, art, creation, thinking, philosophizing, figuring out the point, creating paintings, creating artwork, creating podcasts, creating things which only humans can create. And it comes down to, okay, well, what is the point, and where are we going, and what are we building? And this is where it comes down to you, as what can you do? And how can you like help yourself, and how can you set yourself up so you are in that timeline of infinite abundance?
I don't want to bring it back down to like a really minute scale, but like it kind of goes from that to then back to the only point is that the people who are the furthest ahead than everyone else are the just ones who provided the most like value. They're the ones that provided the most energy, right? And the hard thing is going to be that really all there is to do now is just execute, in the sense of going back to like what we're doing and what we found and the possibilities that Alex and I found over the last month with what is going on with Claude and all of these other AI tools, is that the only thing that matters right now is just doing things, you know? So like the people, going back to Elon Musk, he's just provided the most energy, just done the most things, he's just done more than the average person. And now you don't really need trial and error, because you can just do what everyone else has like been successful doing, right? So,
but the thing is like, think of it like this. Maybe we're going to be a situation where both of those scenarios are completely true. Humans are enslaved forever, and there are humans that are free forever. Yeah. And then you have society that the middle class collapses, and you have slavery, and then you have abundance. And it's slavery under consciousness slavery. It's no longer their energy, it's no longer their output, it's no longer their computer, they're working, they're showing up for the 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. They are slavery to whatever the new currency will be, which will be attention. It will be harnessing the energy of humans. And it's fucking disgusting. It's a really dark fucking energy. And we might see that occur. You think about it. Art. A computer can't create art. Like pure art. Not yet. Not until we get AGI and quantum computing. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know shit about fucking anything. So potentially, you might have this generation of humans that are going to be in universal basic income. They feel like they're free, but their output is to fuel the elite. And it might be exactly what we're in today, where you have the elites and you have the rest of the world. And the rest of the world, their energy is keeping society living and keeping it alive. But they're actually creating things which then the elite are extracting from them through their energy. And it comes back to, okay, well, what the fuck is energy? Because if energy is what is defined by physics, I don't know shit about physics, but energy can be in different forms. It can be in light. It can be in waves of sound. It can be in electricity. It can be in your attention. You're giving me your attention, which is giving me your energy. I don't know fucking shit about quantum science or whatever it is, right? But the slit experiment breaks your fucking mind, because the slit experiment is you have two slits. You send light through the slits, and it splits off into these different patterns. But when the atoms are observed, they follow a process. They go into two slits again. No one can explain that. Because my point being is, when you observe something, when you point attention to something, it changes. In observing something and being observant of something, it changes the way it acts in this three-dimensional world. And so the energy of attention and human consciousness and where human consciousness is facing, maybe that might be the most valuable resources. Because when we have solar systems being harnessed for energy and the only thing left is consciousness, that might be the energy that is extracted as opposed to anything else, because that's the only valuable currency that is a commodity. Because then you think about, okay, well, what the fuck is consciousness? What separates? We're in this infinite abundance. What separates humans from everything else? Because we have silicon. We've got rocks that fucking think now. Okay? So it's no longer intelligence.
Yeah, is it just a combination of atoms? The way your brain works?
So what if it's outside of the rules of physics which we understand?
Well, everything will be dictated by some sort of law. It may be physics, it may be quantum physics, maybe whatever kind of, you understand about the slit experiment one, for example, one's another one where the particle's rotating one way, there's another one a billion light years away. Second one changes, the other one's observed to change. How does it know? How does it know it stopped rotating? Whatever. Like, there's so much that we do not know. There's so much just infinite intelligence which is out there, which we cannot even comprehend. Like, maybe our consciousness is so low down that there's more conscious beings out there that we just can't comprehend. Like for example, dimensions. Like, you've got a 1D, which is just a point. 2D is just a line. 3D is like a plane, so you can go left, right. But like 3D now is up, down, left, right. Now, a 3D being can see a 2D being. Or like 3D beings only see in 2D. Like, only reason I can see you're there, or I know you're like a 3D object, is because of the way the light's shining on you, the shadows and everything. But I'm seeing everything here in 2D. And then a 2D being would see everything in 1D. Now, 2D being could not see in 3D because they just could not look up, or they couldn't see. Now, what's the same with us? Like, we're a 3D being, or would a 4D being? A 4D being will see everything in 3D, but we can't comprehend what a 4D being would look like. You understand? Like, there's so much that we just do not understand. And is that because we do not have the conscious capability of seeing that? Is it because of our physical body? Is it because we're tied to like a physical realm? Is it what is it?
I don't know, brother. So here's the thing.
But
if the human is the most powerful and capable vessel, source, whatever you want to define it as, the technology is within us. And the singularity might be the test. if we can break through to that fourth dimension now. Because like the things that the human is capable of doing isn't fully understood. And potentially the only way humans can ascend to the fourth dimension or to the next level, interplanetary might be one thing. The only way we can do that is through all of consciousness coming together and ascending in this world. It's going into the next level. Now think about it. Maybe this is all theoretical. This is all like yap. You are a lot more smarter than I am, especially with mathematics and physics, and you have a bigger context file than I do. But what if the test of moving into the next like level of awareness, consciousness, humanity is to be coming down to if we can all get along? Because what if consciousness is one human being, one being, one thing, and we're all just like fragments of that? And it's, if you close your mind, if you close your eyes and you meditate, you're tapped into the fourth dimension. You're tapped into the next level. You're tapped into the infinite abundance. You're tapped into the infinite intelligence. You're tapped into the energy field. And then in doing that, if we're all able to ascend through that, then that's when we get to the next fucking level.
Because then you're not bound, like in a common meditation phrase, and this was, I discovered this like very early on, is you just keep saying to yourself, I'm not my mind, I'm not my body, I'm a higher level of consciousness. And you just keep repeating that as a mantra, like a manifestation. And then that just goes to show, like, everything here right now, this is what's keeping us in the third dimension. But like, you close your eyes and you let go of everything. That's what will allow you to, like, think of it, the monks in the Tibetan mountains. They can sit still for years on end. Like little food, little water, but they can just sustain that. How is that possible? Because they're able to completely detach from their reality and travel up. Maybe that's what the true consciousness is. Like DMT or any of these kind of.
Well, that's the thing. Why does DMT get released when you die? Because maybe that's the time when you ascend.
There's so much we don't know.
And this is where it comes back to becoming a fucking billionaire, to understand reality and to be able to push forward and just enjoy the process. And so like without going back into the conversation, because I really like where this is and I really like how we're having this discussion. Right now, we are having this discussion because we're physically together. With us being in this conversation, this is a new conversation this would ever be if we have a Google Meet or if it were to be in wherever.
You can't chat with Claude like this.
You can't have a conversation with Claude like this. And then so when you have infinite abundance, maybe this allows humans to have these sorts of combinations of conversations to actually really understand what is meaning, what is valuable, and what is going to be moving into the more future. Where are we going? Where are we heading? How can we get to the next level? How can we ascend as a humanity itself?
Well, that's a beautiful place.
And this is why when you ask me personally, I don't know about you, but whenever you ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why, it's a very good question. It always changes. My why always changes dependent on who the person I'm talking to is. Because I'm in their energy, I'm in their presence. We are together, we are having this conversation. You're a different level of person. It changes and it matches exactly what it should be for you, for us to have this conversation. And so if that's the case, and I might sound like a fucking crazy person, but if that's the case, then we are seeing visible signs of it is possible, and we could be there soon. Because think about it like this. In the singularity, we might unlock the ability to break mortality. And if we can break mortality, it means we can be alive long enough to collaborate and work together and ascend through these problems to then find the solution which allows us to ascend into the next level. And that's why you say the gods are infinite. The gods or whatever in the ancient text is the thing they envy about us is that we're mortal. But they're gods because they were able to ascend to the next level. Because they know what's there. And they're able to see us. And they're able to influence and to pass through us. And then that is where it becomes almost a spiritual thing. Because now you have two singularities. You have two potentials. Everyone dies and it destroys everything. Or everyone ascends to the next level. Or we figure it out along the way and we eventually just keep progressing as a civilization. And so the two-dimension realm is now trying to break into the three-dimension realm through AI, through computing. Because this singularity is when these two convergent forces meet, and what is outcome of that is very unknown. So we're in a like, and that's why you have the how do I say this without risking my life? That's why you have certain powers and organizations heavily invested in AI because they understand this. So it is our duty as free individuals to be truth-seeking, following our path, honest, good human beings, having positive energy to beat the negativity. Because good always wins until it doesn't. Because when it doesn't, there is no more story.
But who's to say it's good? Who's to say it's bad?
Exactly. That's why you have to be truth-seeking as you move through time. And so it comes down to the individual level. Because us in having this conversation is allowing us to distribute this message, which isn't this isn't Finn Peljo speaking. This is Finn Peljo channeling information from somewhere else. I've never had these thoughts before. I've never said this before. And so this is that maybe this could actually be the fourth dimension coming through me tapping into that to spread the message to help us ascend to then join them in the fourth dimension. And
the
so
infinite intelligence from Napoleon Hill.
Exactly. And this is the craziest part. We were saying this yesterday. It's like all these books rhyme. They all say different things, but they all have the same message. And so if there's truth in different areas of books, in different religions, in different ways of living, then there's a commonality. There's a principle. There is something that is true and that is persisting. Because how do you know if something's true when there's a criminal case? You get all the witnesses, you hear all the stories, and then through all the stories, you can then find the commonalities. Because there's no bias, it's actually events, you're able to get enough data to understand. I don't know, maybe that's not how you do it. But that's how I would figure out a problem. You get all the different points of view, you see what happened, and you draw some conclusions, you map it out, you run it through some theoretical possibilities, and then the truth will stay present in when shown to the light. This glass, okay? This glass, I don't know where the camera is. This glass is true. It's here. It's present. It's in reality, because there's everything outside of that is false. Is being removed for the bare atoms that are left, which are true, which is the hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen, and whatever the chemical compound of this glass is. And so stripped down, truth will always prevail. It will always continue to shine through. And that's why you have these different religions, different texts, which allows us to like take common principles and move forward as a civilization. And then think about it. The principles through the texts, what are they related to? The gods.
They all point to the same thing.
The gods. What did we say before? Where were the gods?
A higher form of intelligence, higher form of consciousness. Same with everything, but the Bible, the Hindu scripture, whatever. They all point, even Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, Reality Transurfing, even any kind of book you read, or fiction book, they all point, I mean non-fiction book, they all point towards the same thing in some sense. And then you read it and you're like, 2 years later you read something else. Like, I remember that from there. But he didn't say it like that. And then with your life experience, everything starts culminating together. And
we're just fucking AI models building our context window, brother.
yeah.
No. But I think the biggest lesson out of everything is just being 100% true to yourself.
And to those around you, brother. And those around you.
Yeah.
I don't know, what's the Bible where it's like, do right by thy neighbor or some shit?
Yeah.
I don't know the Bible, bro.
It's,
yeah.
Like you can equate every single point where you were having the most ascension to when you were probably felt the most genuine, were giving the most amount of energy in a genuine way to other people. And maybe that's the secret. Or maybe that's just the answer to everything. It's like, how do you get in UHI versus UBI? How do you get on the other side? It's just...
Well, it's abundance.
Give the most.
It's abundance,
energy.
brother. It's abundance. It's literally abundance mindset, brother. I say that as a pattern interrupt if I can keep you listening before you scroll TikTok. It's abundance, bro. Because if you're freely giving, the universe always brings it back. It always comes back.
Opposite and equal reaction.
And it takes a person that's trying to game the system to give with intention of return, and they won't get the return. Let's say I was really famous. In terms of like a football player or something, you know, like just millions of people around the world knew who I was. And I came on this podcast and you guys are doing AI stuff, and my only intention was to come on here and like speak to you guys, and like obviously this is no, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but like literally disrespectful way, but it's like literally like, imagine I'm just like some, in the theoretical, it's like you guys are some AI guys that are doing some really cool things, and I can see that because I know some of the biggest guys in the space are trying to work with these guys. These guys are, they are to watch. Like, YC, give them a call. And I'm trying to leverage you so I can get you to build my AI thing for whatever I'm trying to build, because I can realize it's a way I can make even more money and fulfill whatever I'm trying to fulfill, right? And I only come on this podcast with the exact intention to extract something from you. Well, the laws of reality over a long enough period of time, if that wasn't coming from a good place, if that wasn't coming from a good core, it wouldn't work over a long period of time. And so I bring that analogy up just so you can really understand that, like, if I was famous and like football player or whatever, and I came on because I genuinely thought you were cool guys, and I genuinely wanted to support you, and I had zero interest of anything in return, just by me doing that, my energy of my brand and then all the eyeballs that would come to you guys, it would eventually come back in some way. But you just have to be like super cognizant of how you play the game and how you move forward in reality. And you also have to be like listening and reading books, but you also have to be taking your own thoughts, because you both got your heads tilted a bit. You both have your heads
You said this yesterday.
Yeah, I know, but you both have your heads cocked a bit too hard, right? And like, maybe that's just how you listen, but maybe you read a book that told you, when you're interested, you sit forward and you go, yes, yeah, yeah. And then just by acting in that certain way through your body language, through your behavior, like it elicits a certain reaction in me, is this like body language and this way of me concerning myself. And so what I'm saying, the reason I bring that up is like, you're doing that because you've read a book, you've got access to this certain way of knowledge, and you're trying to like manipulate that piece of knowledge to extract a certain thing out of someone through this like, yes. But the thing is like, you may have taken that book, that learning, and you'll be able to apply it. It's like, yeah, that's the thing I'm going to add to my .md file. Like, it's cool. Like, it's whatever. But if you take it, you're like, I'm going to use this. I'm going to fucking like, I'm going to get things out of this. I'm going to manipulate this. I'm going to abuse this power, this thing. The world, the truth sees that, and it will try and teach you the lesson, and it will keep showing you the lesson until you break through. And so that's where it comes back to. You can, and I say this to give context so you can actually understand. If you feel like you're being able to, if you feel like you're trying to help people, if you feel like you're being a genuine person, and you're not moving forward, or you keep getting the same problem happen again and again and again, or you're stuck at a certain revenue level, or you're consistently losing people in your team, or you're not able to put on certain weight in the gym, or like you're consistently not able to lose weight, or whatever it is the problem that is. Reevaluate your situation and understand what the problem that is in front of you and what the commonality lesson that is being put in front of you, and if you can break through that. And the reason I say that is not because I'm trying to be a self-help guy, but like, if my mission is to help people, to make you think of what's the consistent problem that's holding me back. If you solve that problem, you move on to the next thing, then you're making progress as a human. And the whole point of humanity is to make progress. There's a reason why we're here. There's fucking 4K cameras. 20 years ago, this wouldn't be a possibility. We've got microphones that are attached to our shirts. This wouldn't be a possibility. Also, you want to fix your microphones. So yeah, I say all of this to show and point attention on understanding that this is true and this is real. I'm giving examples so you can comprehend what we'll be talking about. And it doesn't sound like this wow, like this big spiritual, like, oh, I don't believe that's bullshit, this conspiracy shit. I'm trying to give these analogies to help you people listening be able to actually comprehend and bring this to reality so they can tactically take it on and move it into their future and progress.
Beautiful. That's the perfect place to wrap up. Thank you
Sick.
so much, Finn.
Thank you very much.
Let's go for coffee and let's speak.
Fuck yeah.